Well, hello, welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on October 29, 2023. Now, I will preface this by saying that I just got home from a fundraiser for a Dragon Boat team. And for those of you who don't know what that like, that usually involves a lot of sitting around, chatting, and eating and drinking. So this is my long and roundabout way of saying I just spent almost the entire afternoon drinking. So if I slur my words or make some weird, glaring mistakes, please forgive me. I believe about 10 episodes ago, we did one episode that said hard work and dedication is overrated. And today I'm going to revisit that because it is a very, very powerful message that I think is important for a lot of us to keep in our mind that uh, what you have been told uh, in old wives' tale or by your parents, by your auntie and uncles, it's actually not true. Especially for those of us who grew up in Asian family, Taiwan, China, Philippines, Japan, Korea, whatever. But because I myself grew up in a very traditional Chinese family, I'm going to use that as my main example. If you've grown up in a Chinese family, undoubtedly you have been told that hard work will overcome everything. As long as you are determined and dedicated, everything is possible. Okay, that is BS. Sorry to say that, but that is BS. And today I'm going to give you four reasons why you can work as hard as you want and you might still fail at what is it that you're trying to do. Now, these four reasons are not always going to happen the way that they're described here. They're not always going to happen in the same order. Sometimes just one of these is enough to make you fail. And number one and foremost, I know I'm jumping into this really quick because I am actually pretty hungry and I want to get around to making some dinner. So number one and foremost reason why a lot of people who work hard fail is luck, okay, or the lack of luck. I told this story before, so I'm not going to draw it out, do a drawn out uh, retelling of it. But a lot of us have heard this story about the guy who was poor and he spent his last $2 buying apples, and then he sold those apples and used those money to buy oranges, and he used those oranges to sell those oranges and buy bananas, and then trying to make more and more money from the work from the ground up, and then 10 years later, his very rich uncle died, and he became inherit. He became the sole person to inherit a $1 billion fortune, right? Okay, I actually heard this story during a speech by a very, very, very wealthy, very successful person. So I didn't make this up. This is legit, right? Um, just look at that story. What is that telling you? That's telling you this guy did not achieve success because of him selling apples for orange, selling orange for banana, and selling banana for this or that. None of that mattered. What really mattered was very rich uncle died and he inherited the money. So this is one of the very, very true, very visceral example of how much luck is going to play into it, because we can take the same story, right, and say, okay, here's the guy who sold oranges for apples, sold apples for banana, and then ended up making a lot of money and building his own office, and then suddenly there's an earthquake and wiped him out, right? It can go that way too, and then it doesn't matter how hard the person worked. All it takes is Mother Nature to have a sneeze or what kind of allergic reaction Mother Nature is having to take all that away, or getting hit by a car when he's walking through the street, or having a brain aneurysm when he's at home. Okay, any of that thing, those things that is outside our control. It doesn't matter how hard you work. Uh, if you are just that unlucky, then you're not going to make it. And at the same time, a lot of times we wonder, well, how come so and so didn't work half as hard as I worked, and they are so much more successful. Well, I can just tell you that a lot of that is because they are a lot more lucky than we are. So luck plays a big part, and this is a uh, first and foremost reason why a lot of, actually a lot of hardworking folks end up failing. It's not because of something they did, but because of bad luck. Now, since luck is totally out of our control, it's almost not worth it talking about it, right? Because it's not going to really change anything for you to sit there wondering if you have good luck or bad luck. So we'll fast forward and we'll jump to item number two, the second reason why you may fail, even though you're working really, really hard. And this one is totally on you. Okay, I don't want to sound like I'm blaming the victim, but this one is totally on you, on me, on ourselves, which is you pick the wrong thing to work hard on. True story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who said to himself, I'm going to play violin every day and I'm going to become a world-renowned violinist, world-renowned concert violinist. I'm going to practice until I'm so good that I can tour the world with my violin. So this boy convinced his parents to buy him a violin, and he took some lessons, and he started playing every day. Very soon, his parents realized our son is really not meant for violin. His neighbors started complaining. His friends stopped wanting to come over to his house. People were trying to tell him, some in roundabout nice way, some in very brutally honest way. Hey dude, just cut it out. Okay, you're torturing everybody. You sound awful. You don't have any kind of talent for music. You don't know what notes you're playing. You don't have a sense for rhythm. Just cut it out. But this little boy kept going because in his heart of heart, he believed that he could be a world-renowned violinist. Until one day, a very famous violin teacher came to his town, and this violin teacher heard about this little boy whose goal was to become world renowned. So he came to visit this little boy, and he asked the boy to, hey, I heard that you want to be a world renowned violinist. Play me a song, any song you want. Play me a song on your violin. I heard that you have been practicing every day. And the boy was very excited. He grabbed his violin and his bow and he played his heart out. He played his heart out for this violin teacher. After he was finished, the teacher told him, hey, come have a seat beside me. And the teacher said to him the most important thing that this boy had heard in his life. The thing that would end up changing his life. No, not just his life. The one thing that changed the world. The violin teacher said to him, you know, everybody is born with a particular set of talents and something that we are meant to do. And sometimes It doesn't matter how much you really want to do something. If it's not what you're meant to do, then it's not meant to be. Then if you still want to stay stubborn and you want to use your time to keep doing this thing that you're not meant for, then you end up not using the time to do what you were meant for to begin with. After the teacher left, the boy sat there and thought about it, thought about his experience, what people had been telling him, and he realized, hey, maybe being a world-renowned violinist not what I'm meant to do. It, maybe I can still play the violin, but maybe I can just ease off on that. Maybe I just play for my enjoyment. Maybe I put my energy into doing something that I'm actually good at. And he did. And who was this little boy? His name was Albert Einstein. Without that violin teacher telling him the brutal truth about him wasting his time doing something he wasn't clearly meant for, Albert Einstein probably would not have been such a great person in the end, and we wouldn't have benefited from everything that he has came up with in the end. So this is, like I said, true story, like very very poignant. That sometimes the reason that you might not be reaping the reward of your hard work. Maybe you have been working hard on the wrong thing to begin with. So it is vitally important that sometimes when we run into difficulties, when we're trying to do something, when we're trying to learn something or accomplish something, and we run into obstacles, it is time to stop and think, maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I should be doing something else instead. Now, I'm not saying that we should all just be wishy-washy and waver all over the place, but it is good to stop and regroup and really ask yourself, am I really meant for this? Believe me, Johnny Tiger, totally blind, partially deaf, doing martial art as a career. I've asked myself this question many, 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 many times. Am I really meant for this? So far, the answer is yes, and so far, it has worked out great. The third reason why sometimes you work hard and still fail at what you do is simply that you might be going about it the wrong way. Again, with blaming the victim, I know, but we need to take responsibility of our own actions and our own results. A lot of time, yes, with bad luck notwithstanding, um, a lot of things really are in our own control. And when you work hard, sometimes things don't work out. Um, Not because it's a wrong thing that you're doing, not because of bad luck, but a lot of times it's because you going about the wrong way. For example, for many, many, many Chinese immigrants, they come to United States or Canada or an English-speaking country, and they shut themselves in their room and they force themselves to to memorize 100 vocabulary a day, every day. They're like sitting in the room with a dictionary, just memorizing, trying to, almost like they're trying to memorize the entire dictionary. In the end, they still don't get the job they want. In the end, they still don't get anywhere. Why? Because now they only memorize like the entire dictionary, but they don't know how to use those words adequately. They don't know how to carry on a proper conversation. They don't know how to pronounce these words. They don't know how to put these words in a sentence. Right? So they got the entire dictionary in their head. Very impressive. Yes. If you want them to write an article, They can write an article with so many big words that you don't even know what they're talking about. But that does not translate to success. So are they working hard? Yes, they worked really, really hard to memorize those vocabularies. But honestly, they could have been out there playing basketball, hanging out with friends, and just expose themselves to English-speaking people. Go to the movie, go to play some video game with English-speaking people, and that would actually help them grow their English communication ability way faster than sitting in the room and try to memorize the entire dictionary. So sometimes it's a cliche, but it is very true. Work smart, don't work hard. I remember someone once asked me, another blind martial artist once asked me, he said, Johnny, what is it that you have that I don't? You do martial art, I do martial art. If anything, I work way harder than you do. I train way harder than you do. I've been doing martial arts just as long as you have. Then how come you got videos, you got documentaries, you got articles, you're all over the place? How come I don't get anywhere? What is it that you have that I don't? And in my heart, I was thinking, well, I guess I work smarter than you do. Because what I really wanted to say to this person was, okay, granted, you might be training as hard or harder than me, but even that is debatable. But okay, let's say you do. Where are your videos? Where is your podcast? Where are your materials that you can share with the world? You just hide in the dojo or in your house and train, train, train every day, but you have not shown the world what you have to offer. I, on the other hand, I train, but I also take the time to share my knowledge with the world. I make videos, I make podcasts, I make recordings, I run workshops. So it's not that I am better than the person in any way, but I am going about this in a lot of different ways that he is not. And this is part of the reason why I am a little bit more well known and successful at this than he is. So this is a very personal, real example of this. Work hard, don't always guarantee the result because that other person who you think don't work as hard as you do, you don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe that person works just as hard as you do, but maybe they also know the right way to go about it. That's all. Last but not least, and this is a big one because I've seen so many people fail at what they do because of this one. And this is a very sneaky, insidious little thing that a lot of us will run into. I run into this all the time when I'm trying to accomplish a project or complete a project. And this is you quit before you reach the full term. You quit before you reach fruition, right? This is a really interesting kind of human psyche. A lot of time when you are working on a hard project or you have a goal to uh, reach, the moment right before you finish it, the moment right before you reach it, is when that little voice in your head is going to tell you, you'll fail. You should quit now. Enjoy the process. Don't go to the end because you'll be disappointed. And there's that little voice. I'm going to use a little quote that from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings because Kitten and I love that movie to death, and this is a very true quote and relevant to what we're talking about. And this quote goes, "If you aim for nothing in your heart, then you'll hit nothing." Right? So sometimes the road is long and arduous and difficult, and you have done so much already, don't quit because of the little doubt in your heart. Don't quit because of that little evil voice telling you this is it. You need to quit now. Okay? Sometimes success, result, fruition, uh, they don't work on your time. They work on their time. Okay, let me give you a couple of quick examples. Let's say you are a world-renowned chef and you need to put on this pot of stew. You do all the right thing, put in all the right ingredients, but you turn off the pot, you turn off the slow cooker 4 hours in when it needs to be cooked for 6 hours to begin with. Then it doesn't matter how good a chef you are, it doesn't matter what kind of ingredient you put in, you ruined your stew, right? Okay, it doesn't go by your time. You need to go by its time, right? If it say 6 hours, you cook it for 6 hours. If you are a world-renowned uh, traveler, adventurer, and you find yourself in the desert, and you are 50 miles from your destination, and you've already walked 40 miles. You are 10 miles away from your destination, and then you quit, you sit down and let yourself starve to death. Well, then I'm sorry, you didn't make it. Right? The the distance is not going to change because you are a world-renowned traveler, adventurer, and you already walked 40 miles. You did not walk the last 10 miles, and the whole thing was a waste of time. So a lot of time in our life we run into that kind of situation when you think, oh my God, I already put in so much work, I should just stop wasting my time. That's the time when you need to do that assessment. Am I doing the right thing? Is this something that I really should be doing? Is this something I'm meant for? And if you think the answer is yes, then go ahead. Walk that road until you get to the end. Don't let yourself quit. Okay? I keep saying that dedication and hard work is overrated, but this is when I tell you dedication and hard work is very, very, very important as well. If you don't have that dedication, if you don't have that determination, a lot of times things won't get done because you quit too early. So, to quickly recap the four reasons why you may fail even when you work hard. Number one, bad luck. That is out of your control. Number two, you're working on the wrong thing. You're not meant for this. Number three, you're going about it the wrong way. Number four, you simply stopped too early. Thank you for checking out today's episode, and we'll be back again tomorrow for the Music Monday. For now, have a good night.